It's time for your daily dose of much-needed self-care. I am so happy you're joining me here at this gorgeous place called Bamboo Beach, where we'll be flowing together as the sun sets on the water. The first 15 minutes will be spent moving through more dynamic postures, making sure the body is warm and ready for the yin portion during the last 10 minutes of the practice, in which we will be holding stretches for longer to go deeper into our flexibility of mind and body. Please remember that no matter where you are right now in your flexibility journey, it is exactly where you need to be, and this class is just one stepping stone along the way. Let's begin our class standing at the top of the mat. Reach the arms up to the sky and slowly bend forward and roll up, reaching up. Release forward over your thighs and roll back up to the sky, reaching and bending the elbows and the knees as you come down, extending everything, reaching up. Palms come together, reach up to the sky, slight back bend. Make yourself as tall as possible. And then let's grab onto that left wrist with the right hand, leaning over to the side, stretching out the right side body. Beautiful. Switching sides, grabbing onto that left wrist, leaning to the right side of the mat, stretching into the left side body. Deep breath in. And exhale, coming to center, stretch up. Clasp the fingers behind your head. Open those elbows wide, open up through the chest. And twisting to the left side and to the right. Trying to keep your hips square and facing forward the whole time, only twisting through your torso. Twist and open. Moving with your breath. Pausing on one side if you feel that it needs a little bit more love. And then let's release those arms down, roll those shoulders back. And let's roll the neck to the right side, slowly and gently. Just getting out any pops or kinks. And let's move to the opposite side. Being very gentle with our cervical spine, warming it up. And come to center. Rolling the shoulders away from the ears, opening the palms up to the front of the mat, and taking a moment to set an intention for this practice. Maybe asking yourself this question: how easily can I find stillness in this moment? In my mind, in my body? Is there anything I can let go of right now? All right, let's take a deep inhale as we reach up to the sky. Exhale, falling forward, walking out the knees, giving some love to those hamstrings. Maybe a quick massage, or just holding on to the legs and bending forward, bending the elbows if you need to pull yourself down a little bit more, or grabbing onto your big toes with your peace fingers, keeping your spine long and straight. And releasing, rolling up to Tadasana. Let's bring all of our weight into our left foot. Right foot comes to the inner thigh. Opening the hands up to the sky in tree pose. or placing them on your hips. They can be a prayer with your heart, or lifting up to the sky, whatever you prefer. And just focus on creating stillness in this moment. Let's release that right foot, knee up to the chest, and stepping back into Warrior One. Right foot at a 45-degree angle, arms reaching up to the sky, bending into the left knee, reaching up. Every muscle is engaged, including your core for stability. Again, moving into stillness in this pose. With your next inhale, shift all of your weight into your front foot. Lift the right leg up. As you come into Warrior Three, hands at your heart or out to the sides if you need more balance. Focusing on a point in front of you, and then releasing back into Warrior Two. Make sure your left knee is not covering your big toe. Make sure you can see it. We don't want our left knee collapsing inward. You can look back over your right fingers or out in front of you over your left fingers. Tucking the tailbone down, engaging the core. And extend the left leg, reaching down with the left fingertips up to the sky with the right fingertips, finding triangle pose. Imagining that you are between two walls. Your arms are stacked on top of each other. Your hips are opening up, finding grace and stability. And bring that right arm down to the mat, pivoting everything forward, squaring off the hips to the front of the mat, and reaching up with the left arm now. Reverse triangle. Both legs are extended or slightly bent if you need to. It helps to have a block underneath that right hand. And let's bring both hands down to the mat, folding over that extended left leg. You can also try to bring your fingers back, placing your hands toward the middle of your mat, or just keep them on either side right behind your ankle. Whatever feels best for you in this moment, whatever allows you to find stillness. Let's take a deep inhale as we pivot to the right side, coming into a wide-legged forward fold, bending from the hips, reaching down, going as far as you can while still keeping your lower back straight. So we really want to focus on bending from the hips and not from the back. If you're more advanced, you can also grab those hands behind your back and allow them to fall up and over your head as you're falling forward, reaching your forehead to the mat. Or just place your hands on your legs or your ankles. And then pivoting everything back to the left side, releasing that right knee down to the mat in a low lunge. Releasing the toes, reaching the arms up to the sky. Hands come down, lift that back knee and step the foot forward into forward fold. Releasing the head down. Bend the knees as you slowly roll up to Tadasana. Reach the hands up to the sky as we come onto our right foot. Left leg lifts, placing the left foot on the right inner thigh. Placing your hands where you're most comfortable, where you can easily find stillness. Imagining you are a tree with roots going into the ground. On your next breath, let's release that foot, step it back into Warrior One. So the back foot is a 45-degree angle. Hands are reaching up to the sky, bending into the right knee, finding a strong warrior, strong and grounded. And let's shift all of our weight into that front foot, lifting the back leg, finding Warrior Three. Squaring the hips off, making sure everything is strong, engaged. And release that back foot, coming into Warrior Two. Keeping that right knee over top of your ankle, pressing into the outside of the mat, not allowing it to collapse in. Looking over your fingertips with a strong gaze. And extend that right leg as you reach down into triangle pose, reaching up with the left arm to the sky. Stacking the shoulders on top of each other, opening up through the hips. Bring your left hand down to the mat, square everything off to the front. Place the left hand down and reach up with that right arm to the sky. Both legs are still extended. Reverse triangle. If you need to place a block under your bottom hand, go ahead and do that. And then releasing both hands to the mat, squaring off the hips, pyramid pose, folding over that right thigh. Deep breath in and exhale out. Let's take another deep inhale. And exhale, release it out as you pivot to the middle of the mat, coming into wide-legged forward fold one more time. Bending from the hips as you slide your hands down your legs. Crown of the head reaching for the mat. Let's lift up halfway, pivoting to face the front of the mat, dropping the back knee, reaching up to the sky. Strong and engaged low lunge. And hands come down, Lift the back knee and step that front foot back into downward facing dog. Beautiful. Finding stillness in this very engaging pose. On your next inhale, let's come forward into plank, engaging every muscle in the body, finding stillness in this challenging pose. And chaturanga down, releasing the belly to the mat, releasing everything down. Press the hands into the mat as you lift the head, lift the chest, and release the chest down. You can lift up into upward facing dog, or just find our cobra or sphinx pose again. Holding and breathing into this back bend. And release the knees to the mat, sit back into child's pose. Breathing into that back, breathing into the shoulders. Let's come up to the middle of the mat, finding our first yin pose of this practice, our frog. So making sure those legs are at 90-degree angles. Knees are in line with the ankles. You can come onto your elbows or stay on your hands. I find that having a pillow or two pillows or a bolster or something underneath my chest really helps me to be able to stay in this and sink into this pose, finding an incredible openness in the hips. And if you're new to yin yoga, this is a style of yoga which moves into poses and stays for longer than we tend to do in vinyasa style. So these poses can be held for 2 minutes, like we'll do today, or they can go all the way up to 7 minutes. And the intention behind holding the stretch for this length of time is to give yourself more time to go deeper, to let go further, and even experience not only a physical, but also an emotional or mental release. The body holds emotions that the mind has placed there when it is overwhelmed, and by holding stretches for longer periods of time, we are able to encounter those emotions, process them, and release them, making more space within us. With your next deep breath, let's come up onto the hands and slowly walk the knees and the feet closer together. This may feel really intense when you first come out, so just give yourself some time. Coming into seated in the center of the mat, we're going to place our right foot on top of that left knee. So both knees are bent. And if this is too intense, you can keep that right foot on the mat with the right knee facing up to the sky. Or if you're feeling a little bit more flexibility in your hips, you can go ahead and open that right knee to the right side. It can really help to have some kind of bolster or block underneath the right knee, or even underneath the left knee. It just depends on what feels good for you. So if you need that support, go ahead and find that. And then come back to this stillness that we're trying to cultivate in this practice. All right, let's release that foot. We're going to switch sides. So the right knee is going to come on the bottom now. Left foot is on top of that right knee. Finding our double pigeon pose. And again, sinking into that stillness, finding a place of calm and serenity despite the discomfort. And please only go so far as is uncomfortable and not painful. Your body will let you know what the difference is through what we call electric pain. So it's that shooting electrical pain that's a signal to come up slightly or to come out of the pose entirely and just take a breather. And with your exhale, let's release that foot, release both legs. Let's windshield wipe them to each side. And then opening that right leg out, extending it as the left knee bends. Reach up to the sky and fold forward, holding on to your foot, to your toes, or maybe just behind your knee. And keeping a slight bend in that extended leg, just so that we don't hyperextend it. It's not about going super far in this pose. It's really just about feeling the stretch. So if that means that you are only down a few inches, that is perfectly fine. That's exactly where you need to be. So find that stretch, find that place of slight discomfort, and just sink deeper and deeper with each exhale. Inhale, let's lift up, switching sides, extending the left leg out, bending the right knee, bringing the foot to the inner thigh, reaching up to the sky and folding forward. Slight bend in that extended leg, just for safety. Maybe placing your hands underneath your knee just to make sure. And folding over, bringing your belly on top of your thigh first before you try to bring your nose to your leg. Coming back to that sensation of inner peace and calm. Lifting up with your next breath. You have a few options here, extending your legs out in front of you and bringing the back onto the mat, or rolling back and lifting the hips up over your head, coming into a shoulder stand, or coming all the way back, feet behind your head in plow pose. Supporting your back with your hands, or extending the elbows, getting in a nice shoulder stretch. Wherever you are, just breathing into that pose. Breathing into that variation. If you want to take it a step further, you can bend those knees if you're in plow pose, squeezing your knees to your ears, coming back to stillness. If you're in ear squeezing pose, go ahead and come back to plow pose. Keeping the back straight. And then lift the toes and slowly roll your back down as slow as you can. Lifting your legs up to the sky and then slowly lowering them for 3, 2, and 1. Finding our final pose, Shavasana. Relaxing every muscle in your body, relaxing your mind, not focusing on any thought, just allowing yourself to be present and enjoy Shavasana. Feel free to pause this video if you'd like to stay here longer. Or if you're ready, go ahead and bend your knees. Stretch your arms up over your head, knees to chest, rolling to one side and slowly sitting up to the middle of your mat, finding an easy seated pose. Hands come to heart in a posture of gratitude. Thanking yourself for finding time out of your busy schedule to do something good for your body. Thank you for flowing with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here with me and allowing me to share this beautiful place with you that is near and dear to my heart. Please don't forget to like this video, comment, and/or share it with a friend if you found value in this practice, and hit that subscribe button. See you for the next video.